The NFL's window to franchise tag players before free agency is officially open. Today, we have an update on Trey Smith's upcoming free agency, as well as some tidbits about the NFL Combine and more. Let's go ahead and get right into it. First up, reports out of Kansas City suggest the Chiefs will not use a franchise tag or a transition tag on pending free agent Trey Smith. This is huge news when it comes to his potential availability, but it still doesn't guarantee he hits the market. It does suggest that the Chiefs are at least preparing to move on from Trey Smith, though, although it doesn't rule out them still reaching an agreement on a long term deal. They have 2 weeks to come to a contract extension, and it does greatly increase the odds that Trey Smith will hit the open market. This is huge news for the Chicago Bears, as I've already heard a lot of people say that Trey Smith has zero chance to hit free agency. And we all know with big time stars, a lot of times that is the case. Deron Payne is the most recent example of a guy who just never had a chance to hit free agency. I've been adamant all along, though, that there's definitely a chance that Trey Smith enters the open market. It is really rare that 25-year-old Pro Bowlers hit free agency, but it definitely happens occasionally, and the Chiefs' situation is different. Not only did they already sign a big time left tackle in free agency, but they gave Patrick Mahomes a record contract and then reset the market at the center position as well, re signing Trey Smith's teammate Creed Humphrey. On top of that, they paid Chris Jones monster money and have a lot of other things they need to take care of. But on top of this, not only is there a chance that Trey Smith enters free agency, but he's also being linked to the Bears by everyone in the media. It is our biggest weakness. We have the cap space, and Ryan Poles was part of the front office that drafted Trey Smith. It almost makes too much sense. But I want to talk more about why the Chiefs could potentially let him go. Everyone watched the Super Bowl, and a lot of people have said, how can the Chiefs let him go when they need to upgrade the offensive line? Well, the problem is the Chiefs are not in the same situation as us. They do not have the flexibility that the Chicago Bears do. And when you lack resources like KC does, paying a guard 20 million or more a season would really hamper their ability to upgrade anywhere else on that O-line. Meanwhile, the Bears have plenty of cap space to not only sign Trey Smith, but also make more moves in free agency while still having the draft capital to improve the roster in other areas. On top of that, still maintaining the flexibility to make more moves. The Chiefs have multiple players hitting free agency, including potentially the leader of their defense, linebacker Nick Bolton. And on top of that, they need to upgrade at left tackle and potentially replace Travis Kelce, Hollywood Brown, and DeAndre Hopkins on offense, as well as Kareem Hunt. So the Chiefs just have a lot of things they need to get done, and I don't know if paying a guard 20 plus million makes sense for them. For the Bears, it makes perfect sense right now. Not only do we have a quarterback on a rookie deal, but we just drafted a receiver and we have both of our tackles on rookie deals as well, and 3 picks in the top 50 this year. So to me, this is good news for the Bears. Once again, reports are that the Chiefs will not use any kind of tag on Trey Smith. It's usually unlikely that guards get franchise tagged anyway, because the offensive line is all grouped together. So if you're going to franchise tag a guard, you're going to pay him tackle money, and most teams don't want to do that. But today's news is good news when it comes to our chances of landing the best free agent on the market, Trey Smith. But the Chiefs do still have a few weeks to negotiate with him and attempt to get a deal done. The deadline for franchise tags is March 4th. I don't expect much news when it comes to that. There are only a few players who even make sense. T. Higgins, Sam Darnold, Javon Holland, and maybe Ronnie Stanley. I think it is possible that nobody gets the franchise tag this season. It depends on what the Bengals and Vikings do. And also, for those wondering, I believe there is zero chance that the Bears tag Keenan Allen. Courtney Cronin has reported that the Bears are expected to let Keenan test free agency, which to me isn't really news at all, but it didn't rule out our chances that he could still come back. I would say Keenan's return is pretty unlikely right now, but that could always change depending on how his market plays out. The NFL Combine is right around the corner, with NFL's free agency following behind. Players start arriving in Indianapolis early on Sunday, and the NFL Combine is taking place all next week. Media interviews throughout the week, with position groups staggering in. Workouts will go Thursday through Sunday, and we will get official measurements, time speeds, and much more from nearly all of this year's top NFL draft prospects. I will be covering the NFL Combine and free agency. Be sure to stay tuned. Remember to hit that like button for me. And until next time, bear down.